So welcome back to this video. Today in this video we will be talking about the intraday strategy which we have used for a very long time. The strategy which we will discuss today is completely based on price action and we are not using any indicator for this particular strategy. इस स्ट्रैटेजी के अंदर जो स्टॉक सिलेक्शन है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा महत्व रखता है एंड जो स्टॉक सिलेक्शन है बेसिकली वो एक दिन पहले ही हमें मिल जाता है, जिससे नेक्स्ट डे सिर्फ हमको ऑर्डर प्लेस करना होता है अकॉर्डिंग टू द कपल ऑफ क्राइटेरियाज विच वी विल डिस्कस इन दिस वीडियो. मेक श्योर यू वॉच दिस वीडियो completely till the last so that you don't miss out on any of the important points which we will be explaining in this video. And if you have any doubt after the session, you can always ask in the comment section which we would be clearing it. Also at the last of this video we would be explaining couple of parameters which will enhance the accuracy of this particular strategy, plus those parameters you can also use in your strategies if you are using at present. So let's go directly to the strategy now. In this particular strategy we use a pin bar kind of a price action based candle, and the name of the strategy is PB strategy based on the price action candle which we will be using. So there are a couple of parameters which we'll be understanding now, which is this is a price action based strategy completely. We are not using any indicator. The time frame used in this particular strategy is 15 minutes, and stock selection plays out a very important role in this particular strategy. Generally what we do is we separate those stocks one day before in which pin bar kind of a candlestick pattern is formed at the day high or at the day low. We are not concerned with the price action based pattern of pin bar which is formed in between the session. We need a pin bar kind of a price action based candle which is formed either at the day high or either at the day low. That means the high of a pin bar candle should be at the highest price where the price action has went today. Similarly, if the pin bar candle is formed at the day low, it should be the lowest point till which the price have gone in today's session. We separate such kind of stocks and trade these stocks in the next day. To understand this better, I'll explain you a couple of examples now. So let's understand what a pin bar candle is first of all. A pin bar candle is nothing but it is a candle which has a very long shadow tail on one side, plus the body size is very small. Whichever side has a long tail, opposite side of that should have a very negligible. And if you just look at this particular candle here, the lower shadow of this is very big, plus the body size is very small, and the shadow which is opposite to the long tail or a long shadow is also very small. So these are known as pin bar candle. Basically a hammer also it is called, the other name for that. So these types of candles we will find out on the charts in today's session, and tomorrow we will trade them. This is the stock selection method. So this is kind of a price action you have to check. It should be formed at the day low or at the day high. For example, if you just look at here, this is the session from this line to this line. And if you just mark the low of this particular candle, so it is the lowest point where the price have gone in today's session. The session started from here, and this is the lowest point where the pin bar is formed, and there the price action has went, and after that there is a bounce. So this is the lowest point of the day in a stock, plus at the lowest point there is a pin bar price action based candle which is considered to be a strong price action based candle. We are not bullish or bearish according to it, but yes, we have to find out those stocks in which there is a pin bar candle at the day low or at the day high. One example of the day high formation also we'll discuss here. So if you just look at this particular stock now, this is the pin bar candlestick pattern which is formed at the day high. And if you see in the entire session, the price hasn't crossed this particular point. So we will select such kind of stocks where at the highest point there is a pin bar, or at the lowest point in the price action there is a pin bar. So we will select these kind of stocks for our trading for the next day. So this is the stock selection method. You have to find out such stocks only where there is a perfect pin bar at the day high or at the day low. Pin bar is considered to be a very strong price action based pattern because it is only formed when there is a strong sell off from the day low or from the day high, because of which there is a very big shadow. So we want to take an advantage of this sell off which has happened one day before, and based on that we would be taking our positions in the next session. So this was the stock selection method. Now let's discuss about our entry, stop loss and the targets. So now let's talk about the entry in this strategy. In this strategy we take entry once the day high of previous day, or let's say the previous day pin bar candle high is crossed, we would be taking entry on the buy side. And if the pin bar candle is made at the day low, once that day low or pin bar candle low is crossed on the downside, we would be taking our entry. So this is our entry criteria. I would be explaining this entry criteria in the example, but let's understand first our entry, stop loss and the targets. Now comes the stop loss. For example, we have found out a pin bar candle in the previous session and it was formed at the day high. So we would be taking an entry once the day high, or let's say the pin bar of previous day's candle high is crossed, we would be taking entry today, plus our stop loss will be the day low of today's session. Always the day low of today's session will be our stop loss. Similarly, if we found a pin bar in previous session at the day low, so our entry will be when the day low of previous day is crossed, or let's say the pin bar low is crossed in the today's session, and our stop loss would be the day high. So this was our stop loss criteria. We'll discuss that in the charts. But before that, we'll also discuss the target. So where to keep the target in this particular strategy? So the targets can be decided based on three criteria. Either you can keep it open after your entry, that is you can only close it after 3:30. That is you are not looking out for 1:1 or 1:2 kind of a target. It's just that once your entry is triggered, you will wait till 3:30 or till your stop loss is triggered. So this is a time based target which you are deciding. That is at 3:15 you'll close your positions if the stop loss is not triggered. Second one is that you can keep in mind a minimum risk reward of 1:2. That is, if your stop loss is coming out to be of 10 points, 20 points is what you can look out for. That is a risk reward of 1:2. So these are the two methods based on which you can decide your targets. I hope majority of the people who are watching this video are comfortable in English. If not, please let me know in the comment section. I would be making a Hindi version of this video for sure. So now we have discussed our stop loss, entry points and target for this particular strategy. Now we'll discuss a couple of examples which we have seen where this entry has triggered, and let's see how it has worked out. One of the example of this strategy which has recently happened is of Astral. So let's discuss that particular stock now. So if you see in this particular screen, this is a pin bar kind of a candlestick pattern which is formed at the day low in the previous session. So today we would be taking an entry once the day low is crossed on the downside. So now you can see this is the day low which was there. So it was crossed on the downside. So we would take an entry once the low is crossed, and our stop loss would be at the day high, which is here. So this is our stop loss, and once you see this has gone pretty much around here. So we would be waiting for the pin bar candle low to be crossed, and once that happens, we would be taking our entry on that side, and our stop loss would be the day high. So in this strategy, based on two methods, we decide our targets which we have discussed previously. Either we'll close our positions after 3:15 or we would be waiting for a target of minimum 1:2. Let's discuss a couple of more. So this was another setup which was formed in Tata Consumer. In this particular setup also, if you see, previous day there was a pin bar candle which was formed at the day low. So in the next session we will take an entry once the pin bar candle low is crossed. So let's mark the pin bar candle low. So this is the pin bar candle low which was there. Our stop loss would be the today's day high, which is around here. And this becomes our setup for PB strategy, which is pin bar based strategy. And if you just look in this particular setup, we have got around good. So in this setup also, if you see, we have got a good 1:4 kind of a risk reward at the day end. Let's discuss couple of more setups so that the strategy is clear. One of the similar kind of an example of PB strategy we can also see in Dr. Lalpath here. So in this also the lowest point of a previous day is of a pin bar candle. So we can take an entry here, and the day high should be your stop loss according to the strategy. So even if you get an entry after, let's say, 12:30 or 1 o'clock, your stop loss in this particular strategy is always the day high or the day low. So it is better that we try to find out those stocks in which the entry is triggered as early as possible in the session, because higher chances are there that the stock can move more because of the time advantage. One more example of the same setup we'll discuss in IRCTC. In this also, if you just see, there is a setup which was formed. The previous day candle bottom, which was of a pin bar candle low, was there. So this is where we'll take our entry. Our stop loss will be again the day high, which is here. And once this entry is triggered, we would be waiting for a target of 1:2 or we'll close after 3:15. So in this particular setup of IRCTC, you can see that easily we have achieved the 1:2 risk reward. So you can close these positions whenever you have achieved this kind of RR. This is a strategy which has an advantage of higher accuracy because of the price action based pattern which is formed on a 15 minutes time frame, plus a PB candle or pin bar candle is considered to be a strong candle which is formed, and just opposite to that we are taking a trade today. So it gives us an advantage of higher accuracy of around 80 to 85% in this particular setup. But the disadvantage of this particular strategy is that the stop loss, which is of day high or day low, is somewhere on the bigger side. Okay, so we'll discuss one more example where the stop loss has triggered in this particular strategy, which is of Indian Cement. So in this particular setup also, if you just look, there was a pin bar candle which was formed at the day high. Next session mein the high has been crossed, so we'll take our entry at the high of the pin bar candle of previous day, and once the entry is triggered, we'll wait for our stop loss or we'll wait for our target of 1:2 or we'll close at after 3:30. So in this setup, if you just look, so here was our entry, our stop loss was the day low, and then the price has went some good 1:3 kind of a risk reward. But if you just look at here, we have got our stop loss in this particular setup. The price has just hit our stop loss and then it has gone up. Such kind of situation will arrive when you try to implement this strategy. Overall, in this particular strategy, you have to plan minimum of 2 to 3 trades. Before you guys comes to any conclusion, let me tell you, this strategy in the raw form will give you an accuracy of around 75 to 70%, which will roughly give you decent positive return. But to improve the accuracy of this particular strategy, you need to have some optimizers, which we will discuss in this video now. The strategy which I have just explained you, that is PB strategy or let's say pin bar strategy, is a base strategy. To improve the accuracy of this particular strategy, or let's say to make it advanced in the sense the stop loss can be reduced based on couple of parameters. These are nothing but our optimizers. Optimizers are nothing but these are used to enhance the accuracy or let's say risk reward of a strategy so that it can give the better return to the traders. I would be making part 2 of this video in which we will discuss just optimizers, that is how to improve the accuracy plus smaller the stop loss so that we get a higher risk reward in this particular strategy of PB. But for that, I would require you guys to subscribe to our channel, plus make sure that we get 100 likes on this particular video so that we would be making a part 2 of this strategy where we will only discuss about optimizers. Also, many times traders may think that stock selection is a hectic task, and not everybody is very good with stop selection. So we will also be making a small group where we'll add traders and we would be publishing a list of stocks where the PV pattern has formed. It would be easier for traders to identify such stocks in advance. So if you want to get added to that group, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and also comment in the section. Once you do that, we would be sharing the link of the group where you can get added, and we would be sharing the list of stocks where the PV pattern has formed one day before. So this was the strategy which we want to discuss. So we would be making part 2 of this where optimizations will be discussed. So we'll meet in that video. Till then, take care and goodbye.